please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Very good morning. Welcome to Chartbusters. Well, this is the show where we'll highlight all the buzzing stocks of the day. Remember, it's expiry day, so things really will get very, very volatile towards the end of the trading session. I'm Nigel D'Souza, and with me today is Reema Tendulkar. Hey, Reema. Nifty pretty much flattish, but the scene is really set up very, very well. I was looking at the options data, the 11,000 put. If you pull that one up, it's added more than 20 lakh shares, and on the upside, the 11,100 call, that's added as well, close to around 20 lakh shares. And we're pretty much in the middle of both those two marks. So if you're writing both those two strikes, the range you're playing for is around 11,030 on the upside, and on the downside, it'll be at around 10,970. 30 rupees minus the 11,000 mark, and 30 rupees plus the 11,100 odd mark. So things interestingly poised, 12 lakh shares each actually, as we speak.
Okay, well, that's about the option setup, and it'll be fine if the markets don't fall anymore, at least on this expiry day, considering the fall that it's already seen in the September series of close to about 630 points, 40 points now as we speak. But for the frontline indices today as well, has been a bit sideways. The trading range has just been about 45 odd points, a bit of a negative bias. The problem is in the mid-cap space, as you can see on your screen. It's now down close to about 1%. The selling pressure picking up as we speak. And if you look at the underperformance of the mid-cap space, so far this month, the mid-caps have underperformed by close to about 5%. In this year itself, the underperformance of the mid-cap index vis-a-vis the Nifty has been about 20%. And that's where the pressure is today. We'll take a look at the top headlines at this hour, then we'll get cracking on a few technical trading ideas as well. The customs duty on washing machines, air conditioners, refrigerators and compressors hike. Negative for stocks like Voltas and Havells, who import compressors from China. The move is positive for Dixon Technology and Amber Enterprises, who manufacture locally.
And Titan gains today. The stock takes relief after import duty on gold remains unchanged.
The customs duty hike on aviation turbine fuel, or ATF, imports takes the airline stocks lower. Experts say the move is detrimental in the current environment of a weak rupee and higher crude.
And more reactions to the import duty changes. Tyre stocks, they trade in the green today after the government hiked import duty on passenger vehicle radial cars to 15% from 10% earlier. All right, Nifty pretty much flattish. What's the trade on this final session of the series? Ashwini Gujral joins in. Ashwini, pretty much unmoved. We're down close to 600 points for the series. What would the trade be? Can we expect a bit of a short covering bounce, or would you be looking to short this index on any kind of a bounce?
See, first thing is clear that there isn't much of a bounce. Post the first day, yesterday we couldn't close positive. Today it does not look like we plan to close positive. So it's a very, very weak pullback. And for the moment, you know, let's say that we will remain in the 10,900, now 11,150 type of band. But I think NBFCs, the sell-off has restarted again. And that is where people should get short. I believe they could break their recent lows. And, you know, that's the trade to take. The financials post, you know, all kinds of measures are still not able to build on any of the gains. I think it's clear that people are selling down financials. Even big institutions are getting out. So that way, right now, what you need to do is probably sell into a Repco Home. That's a buy with a stop of 432, target of 410. L&T Finance is a sell with a stop of 134, target of 122. And India Cement is a buy with a stop of 110, target of 121.
Okay. Some information on Amara Raja. They've entered an agreement with Johnson's Control USA for manufacturing of lead-acid batteries. So that is the information that we have. The stock is down close to about 1.5%. But they've entered into an agreement with a US company for the manufacture of lead-acid batteries. We'll try and get a sense of how big the opportunity could be for Amara Raja. But Ashwini, purely on the Bank Nifty, the key levels that you would watch?
So the Bank Nifty, 24,800 to about 25,500 is that band where it's trading. The idea should be that if you have to go short, financials is the right place to get short, and chances are that Bank Nifty will again outperform on the downside.
And any trades on Havells and Voltas, the stocks which have gotten fundamentally impacted because of the import duty hikes?
You know, these are one-off type trades, and they don't really impact more than a couple of days. The basic trend is sell financials, because that is where the entire epicenter of this earthquake is.
Yeah, that's right, Ashwini. Thanks so much for joining in and giving us those details. And that's pretty much evident on the screen as well. As Ashwini said, the trade that's working out is sell financials. India Bulls Housing Finance, that stock has slipped. You have Yes Bank as well. That's moved to the low point of the day. And Bajaj Finsurf as well. The intraday chart should come up for you. That's seen some selling pressure. And it's not just the frontliners. You look at the broader markets. Canfin Homes, pull up the intraday chart out there. That stock has come in for some selling. Ujjivan as well, the intraday chart comes up for you. So it's a whole host of these stocks that have seen selling pressure, intraday charts coming up for you. All of them slipping as we speak. And Reliance Communication, that stock is now down close to around 4% in this hour itself. The intraday chart will tell you the story out there as well. Slip into a short break. You come back. Iron ore prices have been increased by NMDC. We'll get chatting with Mr. Rao.
The all-new Toyota Yaris. All sense, all sedan.
Exciting things you can do with a single touch on the new TradeBulls Touch app. Make your market watch the way you want. Generate orders at specific market depth on a single click. Multiple themes. Talk to the dealer anytime while trading online. Easy access to markets, orders and trades, open positions, stock holdings and available limits. TradeBulls Touch. Take your investments wherever you go.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
कैसे करूं यकीन आँखों पर कहो? True that. He's eating like tomorrow ho na ho. You think he's binging like this hardum? Must be, but he looks too young. He looks too young. He looks too young.
Morning, afternoon ho, evening ho या night.
Every time you see him, he's having a bite.
क्योंकि 2yum सिर्फ tasty नहीं है, it's filled with goodness. It's not fried, it's baked. Eat anytime, anywhere. Fried, not fikr, not.
Avas Financiers Limited, a retail affordable housing finance company serving semi-urban and rural areas in India, with the second highest growth rate of assets under management in its category for the last 3 financial years, now enters the capital market with an initial public offering of equity shares of face value of 10 rupees each for cash at a premium. The 100% book building issue being offered in a price band of 818 to 821 rupees opens 25th September, closes 27th September 2018. For risk factors and more details, refer to Red Herring Prospectus dated 12th September 2018.
You watch me on CNBC TV18 daily, but TV has its limitations. So I'll be with you on your laptops and mobiles. Yes, CNBC TV18.com is the place to be. I'll be writing daily columns on markets and individual stocks to help you make money, and I'll be interacting with you on a daily basis. So do join me on CNBC TV18.com.
Welcome back. We are extending our fall on the way down. So the Nifty Sensex, which was flat about 15 minutes ago, is now down about 0.2%, at least at the Nifty level. The mid-cap index has extended its fall to more than about 1%. The Bank Nifty is down close to about 120 points. So the sell-off continues over there. We'll continue tracking the markets, but we've got a big guest waiting by to chat with us. NMDC, India's largest iron ore miner, is on our radar today on the back of a second price hike this month on fines and lumps. To discuss this and more, we're now joined by TRK Rao, the Director Commercial of the company. He joins us on the show now. First, sir, if you could confirm there has been a second price increase in September on both lumps and fines?
Yeah, yesterday from midnight onwards, we have increased the price of lump and fines in both the sectors. The price of lump have been increased by 300 rupees per ton, and the price of fines have been increased by 200 rupees per ton, which translates to about 15% increase over last month.
All right, Mr. Rao, so prices have been increased, but could you give us some clarity? Have prices increased both in Chhattisgarh as well as in Karnataka, or is it in just one state?
Yeah, it is in both sectors, in Chhattisgarh as well as in Karnataka. The price increase applicable in both the sectors.
So what is the discount between the NMDC pricing and the landed import iron ore?
Yeah, if you see in the international iron ore prices, the 65% Fe content iron ore prices are trading at a very high levels. They are around $97 US on CFR basis at China, and they are at a premium of about $27 US. So when we compare our prices on landed basis at our major end-use plants, like in the East Coast, I am talking post-revision and post-yesterday's hike, we are still at a discount of about 27% in the East Coast and 15% on the West Coast. And when we talk to landlocked, about landlocked plants like JSW in Karnataka, that's about 47% discount compared to the international on landed basis at the plant gate.
Okay, Mr. Rao, so what you're trying to tell us is that in terms of pricing, NMDC is comfortable, and even in terms of, imported iron ore, you're still very good. So let's keep pricing aside. Let's talk about your volume numbers. How has September 2018 panned out in terms of sales volumes?
Yeah, Karnataka, we should do around 1 million per month, and the sales during the last month have been 1 million per month. There is no problem of Karnataka sales are concerned, which happened during the first quarter of this year, but now the sales are completely normal there. We are averaging the 1 plus million tons in Karnataka. As far as Baradila sector is concerned, the sales are improving from the last 4-5 days, primarily because the rains have receded, and earlier we used to do around 5 to 6 rakes, railway rakes. Now we are doing around 10 to 12 rakes. That means the September last week onwards, the sales have been picking up, and we hope to ramp up the production as well as sales from October 1st onwards.
Okay, it's good to know that sales have started improving. Sir, if you could just help us with the sales volume target for the full year FY19, because up until now on a YTD basis, the data that we have suggests that there has been a degrowth of more than 20%.
Yeah, we have been down by about 25% in the first 6 months. So next 6 months we have to make up this and then also cross last year sales. Last year was a very high sales, 36 million tons. So we are hoping to cross that last year figure, definitely. Now October onwards we will be able to have a complete clarity on the exact numbers, because the first 6 months, as you know, were affected by various external factors. But October is completely, there is no monsoon problem. Hopefully the market is also very good. The railway also should be able to supply rakes like this. Then we should be easily able to cross the last year's sales target.
All right, Mr. Rao, let's shift focus a little away from iron ore pricing as well as volumes. Let's talk about your Nagarnar steel plant. When does that get commissioned? It's been postponed numerous times. When is it finally going to get commissioned?
Hopefully, the first rollout will happen in the month of March 19.
Okay. Just to get some more hygiene questions out of the way, if you could tell us what is the current cash balance in the company's book and what utilization are you operating at?
No, we have a lot of capex plans lined up for the current year also and as also for the next year. We have around 5,000 crores of cash on books, and that should take care of our expansion plans and the requirements of capex, because Nagarnar is in various stages of commissioning now. A lot of payments have got to be made. So we have sufficient cash on hand.
So you've got sufficient cash on hand, sir. Any kind of communication from the government of India in terms of a buyback? Is there a big dividend on the cards?
No, that's the board. The board has to decide on that. That will be deciding in the board. Our board will decide.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining in. So that is NMDC. We need to slip into a very short break with the news that it's still weak for the market. So Nifty is now down 0.25%. The mid-cap's down 1%. On the other side, Sapnesh Lala, the CEO of NIIT Limited, joins in to discuss the outlook of the company going ahead. Stay tuned.
Well, the markets have moved to the low point of the day, and Yes Bank, that's the stock you should definitely look at. Just take a look at the intraday chart of that stock. It's moved to the low point of the day as we speak. It's down nearly around 5%. You know, there seems to be something more that's playing on the minds rather than just, you know, what's the price to book value that you're going to be giving the stock. Remember, in the past, it's got around 2.2 times, 2.4 times. Now, in fact, the street is talking about around 1.5 times. But remember, the stock is corrected from around 405 rupees to around 213 rupees. So that uncertainty seems to be plaguing the minds of investors, and that's why that stock is moving low as we speak. At the start of today, everyone was expecting a bit of a pullback in the rupee. Yes, that happened, close to around 20 paise, but the intraday chart of the rupee should come up for you as well. That's given up all those gains. In fact, there is some weakness that we're seeing, and now there is a mild depreciation for today. Overnight, we had a Fed rate hike, so the dollar strengthens a tad bit, and you know, to counter that, we were expecting a bit of a pullback because of the import duties, the increase in import duties that were levied. That's clearly not happened. The rupee continuing with its weakness. But let's focus on a couple of stocks, and in NIIT, that's the stock on our radar today. We have Mr. Sapnesh Lala, the CEO of the company, who joins us to discuss the impact of this rupee depreciation as well as what's the outlook for FY19. Hi, Mr. Lala. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. Well, the US and the UK, they account for roughly around 70% of the revenues. Do you expect any impact of cross-currency moves, or are you mostly hedged?
I think from a hedging perspective, we are more or less automatically hedged because a fair part of our headcount is based out of developed markets, both in Europe as well as in US. So we have a natural hedge. With respect to the currency, I think we'll see an uplift. However, as you probably are aware, we take currency exchange rates as of the first of the month, and so you might not see as strong a dollar in our numbers as it is today, but it would reflect some uplift.
Okay. Sapnesh, good morning. Talking about business then, at the end of Q1, you had a corporate learning visibility of about $224 million and 49 managed training services, or MTS customers as you called it. Where do those numbers stand?
We are pretty close to our quarterly results, so I would not talk about what's happened during this quarter, but I would say that we've had some strong activity in terms of closing new managed training services customers, and we will talk a little bit more about it in specifics as we talk in our quarterly results, but I can say that we've had strong movement.
All right, just getting to your financials, have you turned EBITDA positive in the skills and the careers group business segment yet?
It's likely that we will turn positive, EBITDA positive in our skills business. We've had, as I've mentioned before, headwinds specifically with respect to India. I think we will see a positive turn because we are seeing some green shoots in that business, specifically with respect to our Stack Route initiative as well as our talent pipeline as a service initiative. So both of these initiatives are doing well, and on the back of these initiatives as well as strong enrollments, we feel that as we get closer towards the end of the year, we'll start seeing profitability in India as well. Our business outside of India is currently positive from a skills and career perspective. So overall, I feel we should be seeing some positive movement at SNC.
Okay. What about the debt on your books? That went up on a quarter-on-quarter basis in Q1. Would you look to bring it down? And also your return on capital employed, which is at 11.7%. Is that comfortable, or would you like to, up it?
Our debt did go up in the past 3-4 months, but I think there was an artificial delay. As you might recall, we acquired Eagle Productivity Solutions in January, and so from a normal point of view, our net debt should have gone up at the end of Q4 or early Q1. However, we had some strong collections in our Q4, and therefore the normal debt levels were not reflected in Q4. They did get reflected at the end of Q1, and like you pointed out, you saw an increase in the net debt level. We feel that some of that will go down. It will go down to a more natural number, which will be in the mid-70s as we close out.
All right. What's your target in terms of the ROCE number?
I think that's a more long-term goal. We expect to substantially improve the return on capital employed, predominantly because the capital employed in our corporate learning business is much lower than the rest of the business, and given that the corporate learning business is about 70% of the total business, over time we see the ROCE number improve quite substantially. Also, especially as the SNC business will start growing towards the end of this year, I think these two things combined will result into improved ROCE from a long-term perspective.
Okay, just one final question then. You had planned a ramp down of the government school business. How is that progressing? And after adjusting for this, what kind of a revenue growth can be expected? The planned ramp down in the government school business is going as planned. I think we are pretty much done with the contracts. We have a long tail that will continue with us for the next couple of quarters, but by and large we have completed the projects that we had started, and we are in the close down phase of those projects. So you will not see the government schools business as a line item as we look at the next fiscal year. With respect to private schools business, the high season for that business is Q4, and at this point in time we are preparing to achieve a high and a strong Q4, which will result into reasonably attractive growth. So it's still a little early to forecast what the overall growth might be, but like I pointed out, we are working hard to ensure that we have a strong Q4.
Okay, thanks so much, sir, for joining in and filling us in with all those details. The market's at the low point of the day, but on that note, we'll wrap up on Chartbusters. You stay with us. Trading Hour comes up next.